Hi, Miss Marion here. Let's go ahead and turn back to page 190. And our I can statement says, I can decide when a linear function is a good model for a data and when it is not. And then I can also use data points to model a linear function. So go ahead and read those. Write yourself a sentence and how you feel about those. Give yourself a number. So 1, I don't remember. 2, I kind of remember. 3, I do remember. And then 4, I can teach it to my friend. So let's go and turn to page 77. And on there, we're talking about a candle. So a candle is burning. It starts out at 12 inches long. After 1 hour, it's 10 inches long. After 3 hours, it's 55 inches long. And then answer the questions. When do you think the candle will burn out completely? Is the height of the candle a function of time? If yes, is it a linear function? Explain your thinking. So go ahead and kind of work through this. Maybe make a table with the information and see and go ahead and answer those questions. And then, so pause, answer it, and then come back to me. Let's go ahead and put this all together. Let's go ahead and answer these questions. Let's make a table with the information that we have. So I'm going to make the table as far as the time, so like time burning and height. So before we burn that candle, it's going to be 12 inches long. And then after 1 hour, it is 10 inches long. After 3 hours, it's 5.5 inches long. So let's kind of look at this. How is this changing? So if we were it goes from 12 to 10. So it goes from 10 to something. And then from that something to 5.5. So if we're kind of following this, and we have it where we're going, if you look at it, it's kind of going down by 2, right? So if I want to fill in what we have, we can say that, at time 2 hours, it should be probably about 8. And then at time 3 hours, it should be around 6, right? If we keep on doing this, we can figure out when it's actually going to go ahead and burn out. And so if I say it's 4, it's going to be about 4. And then if I do 5, it's going to be 2. And if I do 6, it's going to be 0. So when will it burn out? Somewhere between 5 and 6 hours is when this candle is going to go ahead and burn out. And then can we ask, is the height of the candle a function of time? That answer is yes. Because at one certain time, the candle can only be a certain height. It's not going to have like 2 heights. It's going to have a certain height. So 1 input for exactly 1 output. Now, is this linear? No. And we can kind of look at it and see that it's not, because it goes from 12 to 10, 10 to like something, and then here was 5.5. And then we kind of said, it might be 6. So is this linear? Is it going down exactly the same amount every single time? It is not. All right, let's go ahead and turn to page 77 through 78. There should be a 7. And it says, when the sun was directly overhead, the stick has no shadow. After 20 minutes, the shadow has 10.5 centimeters long. After 60 minutes, it has 26 centimeters long. So we're answering 3 questions based on the information. Estimate how long it will be after 95 minutes. Let's go ahead and just do this one first, and we'll kind of go back and forth. So go ahead and pause right now. Just answer this question, and then come back to me. All right, so let's kind of put this information together. What it's saying is that at first, so at 0 time, it has a 0 length. And then after 20 minutes, it has 10.5 centimeters. So it's kind of, we have minutes, kind of like this, and then we have centimeters, okay? So we have these different points, and what we're going to do is we want to figure out what the rate of change is. So remember, the rate of change is the change of y over the change of x. So how does the y's change, which is the centimeter part? It goes from 0 to 10.5. So we're going to have 10.5. And then the minutes, it goes from 0 to 20. That changes, so it is 20. So right now, our rate of change is 10.5 over 20, okay? So based on the information, estimate how long it will be after 95 minutes. So this is our rate of change pretty much per minute. And if we divide it out, we can get a decimal, but we're just going to leave it that way. And we're going to take this and we're going to multiply it by the 95 minutes that we're trying to find. So let's grab a calculator. Let's do 10.5 divided by 20. And then we're going to multiply that by 95. And what do we get? We get 49.875. So it's going to be about 50 inches long. Sorry, that's not inches, it's actually centimeters. So let's go ahead and let's put centimeters in there. Okay, and this is an estimate because we're kind of going off their information. We're not actually measuring every single time of every single thing. And so this is an estimate. That's the way he said it. It's about 50 centimeters. So let's look at number 2. Number 2, after 95 minutes, the shadow measures 38.5 centimeters. So ours was about 50 centimeters. So I'm going to say about. They say that theirs is 38.5 centimeters. And it says, how does this compare to your estimate? How does our answer and their answer compare? So go ahead and pause, answer that question, and then come back to me. All right, so what happened? Ours was too long. So my estimate was too long. Okay, so let's look at number 3. Is the length of the shadow a function of time? If so, is it linear? And then explain your reasoning. So go ahead and answer that question. Look at the pieces of information. Is it a function of time? So is the length of the shadow a function of time? And then is it linear? Go ahead and pause and answer that question, and then come back to me. So let's kind of look at it. So every single time that we have a number, we have a length, right? And so at 20 minutes, we have 10.5 centimeters. And they said at 95 minutes, they have 38.5 centimeters. So is the length a function of time? That answer is yes. Because for one input, so for 1 minute, like not 1 minute, but for a measurement of minutes, we're going to have one output. And as far as how long the shadow is going to be. Now, is this linear? Well, it's not, because if we really kind of look at the different pieces and see how it kind of changes, we were looking up here, and we kind of followed what we had, and then it said it was 50, but it was actually 38. Is it changing the same amount over all the different times? It is not. So is this linear? It is not linear. Another way that we can actually look at this is if we took all the information and we went ahead and plotted it on a graph. So the 0, 0, the 20, 10.5, and then also the 95, 38.5. Is it going to make a straight line? It does not. You can go ahead and try it that way also. Because remember, a linear equation is where it's going to be a straight line, or the rate of change or how it is changing is always the same every single time. All right, so let's go ahead and turn to page 78 through 79. We are going to look at the recycling. And in the earlier lesson, we talked about the garbage amount of the United States and how it was recycled between 1991 and 2013. So let's look at number 1. It says, sketch a linear function that models the change in the percentage of garbage that was recycled between 1991 and 1995. Now, a linear function, so remember, we can either do equations, we can also do graphs, we can also do tables. So what we're looking for is actually a graphed line on this graph between 1991 and 1995. So go ahead and sketch that. So pause and sketch that, and then come back to me. All right, so let's look at it. So from 1990 is here. 1995 is here. Let's go ahead and draw a line kind of actually between. So if we got out our ruler and drew a line between the two, it would look something like this. Then it says, for which years is this model, so the model is the line that we sketched, good at predicting the percentage of garbage that was produced? And then for which model is it which years is this model not good for predicting. So again, pause that and then come back. So if we look at it, what years is it good? The line between 1990 and 1995, that actually looks really, really good. So 1990 to 1995. Now, does our line have to go through every single one and be curved? It does not. Remember, a linear function was a straight line. That's why we made our graph a straight line. But does it actually kind of predict? Does it actually show what's going on? Great. But what happens after 1995? Well, our model kind of goes everywhere. So does this green line, is it good for the rest of the model? It is not. So for what years is it not good? Well, it's going to be like 1995, 1996 to 2013. This is where it is not, like our model or our line function does not predict what's going on. All right, let's look at number 2. It says for another time, pick another time to model with a sketch of a line, so a linear function, a linear line, straight line, for which, so draw that line, and then for which years is the model good for making predictions, and which years are the model not good for making the predictions. So go ahead and pause right now, go ahead and do that, and then come back to me. All right, so what I decided to go ahead and do, I wanted to go ahead and do it from about 1998 to about 2011. So 1998, so 5, 6, 7, 8, so that's this one here. And then 2011, that's this one here. And again, I'm going to take out my ruler and I'm going to draw a straight line. And a straight line kind of in between the two. So this is my straight line. So does this straight line, is it good at making a prediction? From 1998 to 2000, this is good. Now, the information, the data that was given to us does actually curve, but does the line that we drew, does that actually work for predicting what's going on? Yeah. So from 1998 to 2011, this is a really good prediction as far as with that blue line. Where is it not? Well, it's kind of before 1998 and after, and then 2011. So this is where it's not good. If I stand out that line, it show how it doesn't kind of go with the data that's given there. That's why it's not a good prediction. So did you have to go ahead and pick the dates that I actually picked? No, you can actually pick any others, but understand how it works as far as the model, as far as predicting the model, and it does not. So to help us understand for today, remember that a mathematical model is a mathematical object, like an equation or a function or a geometric figure that was used to represent a real life situation. So we have an equation, a table, a function, all kind of go with a story, right? Or story problem. Sometimes a situation can be modeled with a linear function. So remember, linear function gives us a straight line. And so can it be done with a straight line? Yeah, that's the last one that we went ahead and as far as the garbage collection, right? And then sometimes we use judgment about whether this is a reasonable thing to do based on the information that is given to us. Sometimes the model will actually work with the information, and then sometimes the model will not. That's actually what we were looking at today. Some of the models that we had worked, and then some of them did not. Some of them we could do a linear function with it, or a straight line, or an equation that makes a straight line. That worked, and then sometimes they didn't. And then we have to make sure that we have to kind of be aware if that model does work or does not work. That was our ultimate goal for today. Let's go ahead and turn back to page 190 and read our I can statements. I can decide when a linear function is a good model for data and when it is not, and I can use the data points to model a linear function. So go ahead and write yourself a sentence about how you feel about today. Give yourself a number. So 1, I'm still confused. 2, I kind of got it. 3, I did get it. And then 4, I can teach it to my friend. Please make sure you go ahead and do the practice problems in Canvas to go along with this lesson. And if you have any questions, go ahead and email me. Hope you have a great day. Bye.